I had this idea to combine Earth models and large language models, and I wanted to do it in the simplest way possible. So I'm using ChatGPT Atlas, which is OpenAI's web browser, and I'm going to label data with it on Earth Index. I'm going to set the project up for it though. Greenhouses in Washington State. And then I'm going to highlight Washington State as my area of interest and create the project. And now I'm going to bring ChatGPT in. I am creating labels for a model that's using satellite imagery. The goal is to map greenhouses in Washington State, but we need to start first with creating labels. What I want you to do is do a web search and find 10 greenhouses in Washington State. We're looking for commercial greenhouses. Can you dig up 5 more, please? I know I wasted tokens by saying please to the robot. They need to be greenhouses where you have latitude and longitude for them. See, didn't say please that time. Let's start with the Imperial's farmland in Yakima. First, you're going to stick the latitude and longitude into the the input boxes with latitude and longitude, and then you're going to zoom by scrolling using a mouse scroll to scroll in and out. You don't want to zoom all the way in. You want to be out about 3 zoom levels from all the way in. I lost my depiction, so I'm just going to copy it here. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm turning on Mapbox Satellite. It's really hard for it to use the medium resolution imagery. And it's also hard for it. I've done this a couple times and it gets a little confused in using the layer picker as well. So let's see how it goes. I like to call this sparkle mode. I think mapping in Washington State, home of Twilight, makes sparkle mode kind of extra fun. I don't know if we're going to map any greenhouses up where the vampires are, but we'll see. So it got a little bit confused with the input box because it only does 3 decimal degrees and the data it has is 5 decimal degrees. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, so it got us to where we wanted to be. Let's see if it figures it out though. I'm going to stop it because it might just fiddle around. Perfect. There's multiple sets of greenhouses visible on the screen. Now I want you to click where the greenhouses are, and the interface has a box that is like a pixel, and you want to click so the box turns blue so it covers everywhere that there's a greenhouse. That's how you make a label. So it got the one. And it got the other. I'm a little nauseous from its zoom. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom all the way in for it so we can check its work. Really, it didn't do too bad. It missed a few. And also, it's hard to explain to it that there's actually multiple ways you can select. So I'm going to fix that for it, and I'm going to have it go on to another greenhouse. I added a couple additional labels for those greenhouses. Let's go on to the next greenhouse you have that's elsewhere and do the same thing. Remember, keep the zoom level about the same that it is now. So the thing is, this is not how I would actually choose to use an agent to do this sort of labeling. It's just the easiest way to do it without a lot of setup. I also think it's kind of amusing to see how it manages the interactions with the map and all the rest of it. So I'm not seeing any obvious greenhouses, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's interesting that you may not have seen it, but it reasoned that the white buildings near the railroad tracks were possibly warehouses and not greenhouses. I'm pretty sure they're warehouses. We're still zooming a little in and out. Okay, I'm going to take control for a moment. And I'm wondering if there's greenhouses there on the Sentinel. Looks like there's might be something, but I think this is going to be hard for us to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it to try a different location. This location looks difficult. I think the imagery might be out of date. So let's try another. So it looks like this might be another one that might be a bit difficult. So I'm going to stop it again. Let's try another greenhouse on your list. Can you figure out which one's the largest and go there? And as you can see, this isn't probably the best way to do this. I partially recorded this video to show how the LLM tries to interact with the map and some of the other things that are a bit funny. But uh, this is a generic LLM doing doing a specific task. So this is not how I would do this to create an application though. Okay, I'm going to take control again because that was the funny thing about this is I am not specifically seeing any greenhouses. But as mentioned, I'm sort of cheating by using the high resolution imagery. I could look with Sentinel too, and I'm not sure. So I'm going to ask it, can you see when the greenhouse we're looking for, the BSEL, was? So I'm also running out of my agent requests, so it's possible that this is maybe this will take a. I think I want to end here and show that it kind of worked, but it kind of didn't work. Large language models are generative. So I've tried this with mines in the DRC, chicken sheds in Washington State, and greenhouses in Washington State, and sometimes it works well and sometimes it does not. So I'm going to leave this here, and then I'm going to make a second video where we actually run predictions and confirm and reject the labels.